All right, it's happening again. Looks like the mainstream media outlets are trying to take down Bernie Sanders once again. I already did a story about this, about the major backlash that was happening from some liberals, and they were all liberals, and then some progressives. By liberals, I mean the Hillaryites, not Bernie Kratz. To me, a liberal, whenever I say liberal at this point, that's essentially what it means. Your Nancy Pelosi types. Literally, her daughter, by the way, came out against this. So funny enough that I say that. But CNN wrote an article to try to sow more division and to try to divide the left and try to amplify the Bernie Sanders controversy, partially because obviously it's going to generate clicks, but also because I genuinely believe that they want to put pressure on the Bernie Sanders campaign to try to get him to basically deny this, endorsement. So they wrote an article saying Bernie Sanders is facing a backlash from some Democrats after his campaign trumpeted an endorsement from comedian Joe Rogan, a popular podcast and YouTube talk show host with a history of making racist, homophobic, and transphobic comments. And it's not just CNN that did this. They've Washington Post also posted theirs. The New York Times might have posted one. I thought I had seen one, although wasn't able to find it on second review. They say Bernie Sanders criticized for embracing support from Joe Rogan. And so they're trying to, put the pressure on. They're trying to amplify the talk behind this. But it's just really hilarious to me that all this is going on. Because, honestly, for virtually anybody, you could go back 5 or 10 years or whatever and find some, at best, questionable comments, is what it seems like to me. But it's just, they're clearly grasping at straws here with all this kind of stuff. And are some of the things that he said about trans people wrong? Yes, I would agree with that. But that's not, his whole thing. And pretending like Joe Rogan's audience doesn't exist is very stupid. And also pretending as if, basically reposting his endorsement isn't going to help the campaign, or that Joe Rogan doesn't have an audience that the Bernie Sanders campaign can tap into to convert voters is also very stupid. So the people who are doing this are really dumb, especially when virtually all of those people who are criticizing this either are politicians or figures who have ties to people who could be put in this same light. So, for example, that guy, Dr. Jason Johnson, the doctor of political science, who said that Bernie was going to be out by August. He came out against this. But he goes on Joyanne Reid's show all the time. Joyanne Reid had those homophobic blog posts from some years ago. And so it's like, how is that any different? Same thing goes for any of these people. Hillary Clinton, best buddies with Harvey Weinstein, Epstein, all of these people, Henry Kissinger. Are you kidding me? These are the people that we're talking about. And you talking about the New York Times and Washington Post. These are all outlets that, lied us into the Iraq War. This is seriously the game that you're trying to play? All of these people have equally, big problems, and far more than Joe Rogan. I mean, Joe Rogan's a fucking podcaster. You're talking about people with ties to, war criminals. And it's like, okay, what are you talking about? And it's clear that they're just jealous that they weren't able to go on the Joe Rogan podcast, because Joe Rogan, it revealed that basically all the candidates tried getting onto his podcast. He declined all of them except for Bernie and Tulsi and Yang. So, there's that. But they're trying to sow discord. It doesn't look like Bernie's going to come out and reject this, but I cannot say strongly enough that Bernie Sanders must put down his foot. All right, he has to put his foot down, and it looks like he has, and he cannot... he can't run away. He can't apologize. No apologies, no sorries, no nothing. This is the right thing to do because this is how you win elections. So, do not decline this. Do not take this back.